Yeah, we were playing somewhere one time, and there was this. You've heard this story before. There was this woman that came in. It was just the three of us, and we were doing mostly original songs, and we were doing it at this little dive bar. There's hardly anybody there. And there was this woman. They came in with a whole group of people. They were all drunk. They were all having a party, whatever. They all started. They asked us to play a Marvin Gaye song, so we played the Marvin Gaye song. Yeah. And then she came back and she said, "Oh, can you do Brown Eyed Girl? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this?" And I was like, "Well, no. We usually do original songs."
Right.
And I said, "Well."
So you mean songs that people don't know?
And I said, and they said, well, "What do you mean by?" She said, "What do you mean by original songs?" She was half out the bag. She was drunk.
All
I
right.
said, "Well, the songs that we've written." And she said, "Well, okay. Well, you only do songs that you make up?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And she said, "Why would you want to do that?"
We did one gig, and it was at what's the place? They don't ever have music with the giant cheese fries on the river bend.
On the river bend?
Right.
Oh.
Cooter Brown's.
Cooter Brown's.
First gig at Cooter Brown's. They moved the booth out or whatever.
Wow.
We set up right in the.
Setup? Yeah.
We set up right in the middle area, and I made just as much money at that gig that I make now. No, I'm just kidding. No, they paid us $75 a piece, and I was like,
it's still about the same.
what?
But it was a lot cheaper to live here.
I
than
saw-
to-
Right, exactly.
I saw a meme on Facebook that was like basically saying 1965, what people made in the band, $100.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
2019, what people make in a band, $100.
Is this notion that it's like if the more personal your story, the more chance you have of none of us giving a fuck. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like really, like unless like, or there's some people that are just really good at telling stories.
Yeah.
But even Bob Dylan, who gets an incredible amount of credit, deservedly so.
Yeah.
But a lot of that shit is vague.
Right.
It's not like
No. Absolutely. No.
Tangled Up in Blue is an
Right.
example of something that he personally experienced, but even the way that story gets woven,
Everybody can get their own thing.
we can all. He talks about all these different situations that he was in. I mean, we're gonna be able to relate to something that he said, but that's the thing. It's like he makes it relatable and somehow interesting to listen to, as opposed to, you know, the little guy that, you know, opened for us one time, or before every song, he had to remind us about how tough his upbringing was. And it's just like, first time I maybe can give you a pass, but by the third time it's just like, well, not only do I not care, it's like I'm starting to like fantasize about being your older brother that like beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it goes the other way now. Now I want to kick your ass.
I was in my 20s. I don't know if I'm going to include this in the video. When I was in my 20s, we used to play, what was it, Mac the Knife.
Back when it was a hit, right?
Yeah, back when it was a hit, back in the Stone Ages.
Before Bobby Darin.
Before Bobby Darin. We used to play Mac the Knife. And
when it was Kurt.
How was the bathtub gin? Was that good?
Back when it was called Moritz.
The password was Antwerp to get into the speakeasy.
Right. And then knock 3 times and then kick it with your foot. It was good.
Yes, Antwerp, fucker. Mac the Knife. And I remember at the time being so frustrated with having to do that. I remember actually talking to somebody else in the band and saying, if I'm ever in my 40s and still playing Mac the Knife, shoot me in the motherfucking head.
In the video.
No, that actually might be in
Let
the
me tell you
video.
something.
And I'm still singing the song.
Mark, I gotta say this.
You do a great job singing Mac the Knife, and it's cool when you're 40.
I have heard people say nobody sings Mac the Knife like Mark Carson. I swear to God.
And so that was like, you know, so sometimes it takes, I mean, I wrote a song when I was, you talk about the first songs we wrote, I wrote a song when I was like 12 or 13. I'd been listening to this, there was a song by Lauren Green from the,
Wow.
From Bonanza.
See, I think
He had a number one song with the
He
like.
wrote a song?
No. They would just. He would just like narrate. He was like, it was called Ringo. It's like it's like the Ringo. It's
Yeah, that's what
I walked down, and he would be something like, I walked down the range that night, and we would do this like that, and we do this, and so like it was a little 45 that I had, so it's like okay, whatever, he had a hit song, so I didn't know, I wanted to get that kind of cowboy kind of thing, and so like I didn't know how to play guitar, so I played like a E minor, okay, cool, and E minor, and then I went to C, and it's like okay, great. So I started doing E minor C, and I started singing "Panic in the City," and that was like the whole, that's all. Well, the other one's like "Trouble Everywhere," and that was the beginnings of me writing songs.
Right, but that's good.
And so we're gonna do that next week.
Oh my God.
I was really hoping that song.
keeping
I was hoping that
First song I ever wrote, I was about the same age. But
Best song you ever wrote.
I was hoping that song was going to be called Gringo.
That's better than
it was total derivative.
Exactly, that's
better than the stuff he
from,
does now.
This house is so lonely. Oh, this house is so lonely. And I was like in the barn, with the horses. It was like the first time my parents left me alone when I was 12 or 13, like unsupervised. And I was like, I'm in the house by myself. This house is. It was just totally a derivative work of some other pop song on the radio.
Right.
I learned an A minor.
But that was the first thing I wrote.
I learned an A minor and an E and an E minor, and then I wrote a song.
See, that's going to be a part. That's going to be one part of the.
I wrote about.
Panic in the
I wrote a
City.
song.
This is Chris.
Well, I learned 3 chords. I wrote a song about a girl in my math class in college. That was the first thing I ever wrote.
Math girl? Was that what you called
Math girl.
No, it wasn't. It was sad.
Great.
I wanted to ask her out.
She adds it
I
all
wanted to
up.
ask her out, but I didn't have the nerve to do it. So it's a very introspective,
Math
like
girl.
shy, long-haired Chris song.
Don't
Like, it was
divide
perfect.
us.
She's.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's it. It's just like it's actually still. That's still one of the better things.
My love just multiplies when I look in her eyes.
Great.
Math girl.
That probably would have been better.
Math
if I
Girl.
fucking wrote
It's probably not
Math
the
Girl.
song.
And it was not called Math Girl, actually. But,
I'm in love with the back of her head.
I think she was. She sat right in front of me. Exactly. I was like, fuck. Yeah. I suck at math. Just stare at this chick.
I think the
I
really,
don't even know what a
the really
triple
bad,
entendre would be.
the really bad first lyric when I realized how hard it was to write lyrics.
Yeah.
I wrote a quote anti-war song when I was a teenager, and the name of
that song.
the name of the song was "I Just Want to Stay in One Piece."
PEAC.
Oh no.
I had this experience one time, and I wrote with this guy, and we wrote possibly the absolute worst song that I've ever written in my entire fucking life. And the song was called "Hangover Hangout." Where does your hangover hang out? Because mine could use some company right now. It was like really awful. One of the worst friggin' things. Like really terrible.
Like I tried my best, Mark.
We got to the end of the song.
Hashtag it's a journey.
We got to the end of the song, and I said, we gotta write another song.
Yeah.
And so we wrote another song, and that next song, the melody of that song, like, we ended up demoing the song. Like I described the song to another this artist, and she wanted to write with the two of us because I started singing the melody, and it was like we needed to go through Hangover Hangout to get to the other bit.
Right, right.
It's like clearing your palate.
Yeah, it's clearing the palate of all the garbage, and then all of a sudden,
Well, it sounds like it would be in one of those 60s beach movies.
Yeah.
It probably would.
Yeah.
It probably.
Well, look at any
Who don't play music, who aren't musicians, and it could be with any kind of art form. It really doesn't just have to be about. It could be somebody people make movies, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's this kind of gallows humor that you have. This kind of like, what's the worst thing's going to happen? Oh, it just happened.
Yeah. Right. You're going to have a hell gig sometimes.
And so it's that camaraderie of like, here we are, we're about to go over the cliff. Okay, and it's like
You're in the trenches together.
and you talk to people who had, who haven't ever experienced that, and sometimes and they don't understand what you're
Right.
you feel like you're a fish out of water when you're talking to somebody and you mention something like that, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I cut my grass yesterday, and I had a po' boy and went home and slept.
Yeah, but nobody.
Thanks.
But like 12 people to come out and watch you cut your grass and critique like how shitty you were cutting your grass.
12 people didn't watch you cut your grass.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, well, this is fucking weird.
That's really awesome.
That's what I'm saying. That's
You
like we have
suck.
those gigs.
You
You're
missed a blade.
There wasn't just like 12 people standing in your yard and like you're mowing and they're just like looking at you. And you're like, and they're not giving you any kind of like feedback or response or anything.
Right.
They're like dancing to
telling
the
you
mower.
how
They're just
straight your
looking at you.
lines
Yeah, you're
are.
like,
It's like,
oh,
you
look
know,
at this asshole
they're
mowing his
listening,
grass.
They're,
You're like,
they're
okay.
not even listening
Right.
to the mower.
No,
They're just talking to
no,
each
they
other.
gotta, like, they actually have on headphones and they're watching you mow your grass.
Oh yeah.